Hello YouTube. In this video we're taking a look at the golf swing of I.K.Kim, who recently won the 2017 Ricoh Women's British Open for her first major championship. Now this victory is going to be very popular among fans of the LPGA, not just because I.K. is such a likable person, but also because a lot of us remember the 2012 ANA Inspiration, where she tragically had to endure a harsh lip out on a 1-foot putt on the last hole of the tournament that was for the victory, and she ultimately ended up missing out on that chance for her first major. But she's endured, she's got a lot of perseverance, and 5 years later she's back at the top of the game and she is a major champion. Other than her obvious mental resilience, one of the strengths of her game is the accuracy and consistency of her ball striking. And despite not being a very long hitter, she has consistently ranked inside the top 25 in greens and regulation percentage for the last 9 years, even getting as high as number 3 a few years back. And in order to be able to do that when you're spotting distance to your fellow competitors, you need to have a golf swing that's very consistent and very repeatable. And for I.K., the way in which she achieves this is by making sure that one of the trademarks of her swing is a very stable release and therefore a stable club face through impact. So you can see in slow motion that the rate at which her club turns over is very low through the hitting area. You can see that the club's not rolling over, her hands are in no rush to roll over till well after impact. The result for her is a lower rate of closure, which means much less timing required to hit the ball consistently and accurately. And it's a big reason for her success. So the question then becomes, what are the fundamentals that allow I.K. to achieve this? And as is often the case, it starts with her setup. So if we take a look at this setup, and I really apologize for the quality of this video, it's really hard to find good quality video for LPGA golf swings on YouTube. But this one's pretty good, and if we look closely, what we notice is that grip in that left hand is in a nice strong position, which is going to be really important, as we'll see in a minute. And if we look at her elbow, her lead elbow is facing roughly towards the target rather than locked inward and facing her hip. And these two keys are going to encourage I.K. in her takeaway to avoid excessively rolling the club open on the backswing. So if we look at this down the line view, we're going to see that that club face definitely doesn't roll this way. You can even see that she maintains that little bit of cup in her right wrist. And as she gets to the top, what we see is a nice flat left wrist. And what this position tells us, along with the fact that her club face is in what some would call a slightly shut position, is that I.K. is not going to need a lot of hand action to square up that club face at impact. It's almost as if that work's already taken care of. So we'll see as she comes down, she clears her left side out of the way nicely, makes some room for her arms, and this position right here, so that bowed lead wrist, and that cupped trail wrist along with the club face being a little bit tilted that way. That tells us that there's not a lot of hand manipulation needed to square this face. It's pretty much in position, and all she needs to do is turn that body and drive it through. And on the right, that correlates to what we saw earlier. Everything's in position. There's no breaking of the wrists, no flipping. You can see that lead elbow is pointing towards the target and it's staying that way. She's not rolling over her forearm in a desperate attempt to square the face. She basically knows everything is good to go from right here, and all that's left to do is keep that torso moving, keep those shoulders going, hold that leg, and pull that club through. So a really stable, simple move through the ball. And it holds up really well under pressure, and really helps IK to be such a consistent player in the long term. So, to summarize the method to IK's madness, or greatness is probably a better word, we just need to understand that her method for setting up with her stronger grip, that lead elbow out towards the target, which therefore means her shoulders internally rotated, encourages her to do a takeaway that is one piece in nature and discourages her from rolling that club face open, or having too much wrist or forearm rolling going on. What that then does is helps her get to a position at the top where she can say to herself, alright, I know that my hands and club face are in great position and that's all taken care of. All that's left to do is make sure I make a really good, powerful turn of my torso, make sure my body doesn't get in the way, and just drive that club through the ball. Really is a thing of beauty in its simplicity as well as the athleticism. Now, of course, a world-class golf swing like IK's has taken years and years of training, and there's some fundamental technical skills that are in there that we don't have time to cover in this video. However, there is no doubt that her commitment to these root fundamentals that we talked about in this video have helped guide IK towards developing the simple, efficient, and athletic golf swing that we see in her today. So congratulations again to I.K.Kim on her first major championship victory. Very well deserved. And thank you for watching.